All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. Please have a seat. Take your seats, please. Show is about to begin. All right. Just a second here. All right, let's get situated here. Make sure everything's good to go. Yes, everything's good to go. All right, so question. How many people out there are paying respects to Martin Luther King today? Especially within the black community. Because I wouldn't forget about this person just because it's another year, another holiday. I hope everybody's having fun out there if you do have today off or you are paying respects to MLK Jr. or if you always have. Because, I grew up in public schools where it was mandatory to listen to the speeches that he gave, study the history involved, you know. So I want to get into this because, we have quite a bit to draw from 10 quotes that I picked up, preferred quotes that I prefer to go over. And they have a lot to deal with myself because a man with a vision looks to his left and right and asks himself, who's with me? And sadly, I don't think enough people war with MLK because if they were, we wouldn't still have these ridiculous problems with races today. Not racism. We're going to go over that. So without further ado, this is MLK versus ignorance in today's societies in particular from the Versus series, episode 3. Let's jump right into it. All right. So we have here our first quote. Our lives begin to end the day. Oh, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Oh, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Okay, I get it. They begin to end. Yes, and you see it within communities online. They're like, I don't want to deal with drama. Like, they're too lazy to deal with their own communities. Like, no, you guys need to squash problems, deal with the trolls. Because if you don't talk about it, guess what? It's going to run rampant like a fire. And then other people are going to start getting into fights and other people. And then you have a broken community before you know it, or divided completely. It's just like Malcolm X. He had to do the dirty work with the Black Panthers and such. Sometimes he went a little over the edge. But who's going to take out the trash? Right? Who's going to get in there and get dirty? Because words can only go so far. I'm not promoting violence. I'm simply saying sometimes you need to take it up a notch. Not threatening people, but stating words that are far more firm than trying to just pretend to bring people together with kind words but little action. You guys need to get into the details, especially with your families, with your relationships. Solve problems. Be a problem solver, not a problem avoider. You know what happens to problem avoiders? They become cowards, weak, and they don't deal with problems like a real man, like a real woman, a responsible human being, right? That's the main problem with today's society. We got a lot of weaklings out there who don't want to be leaders. They don't speak up. They don't collaborate with each other. They don't work together as a team. You don't have to join the army in order to learn how to, be a team member, a member of a team. You have to practice it every single day until you become a really good leader, and maybe even a great one. So this is what I take away from this quote. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And it's just like for evil to prevail, good men need to turn the other way, right? That's all that's needed in order for evil to prevail. All right, let's go over another quote. Let no man pull you low enough to hate him. Exactly. With trolls online, with enemies offline, it doesn't matter who the enemy is. You don't want enemies in your life, but you can only go so far with people who disagree with you and they want to make a big thing out of it. Even when you defend yourself, they still want to make a big thing and say you're wrong, even though you defended yourself against something, right? On or offline. And what happens is they want to pull you down to their level of ignorance. They want you to ignore things that should not be ignored. So you stand your ground and no, you don't ignore those things. You fix them because you don't follow examples of cowards who say, oh, just ignore it, it'll go away. No. And time doesn't cure everything, by the way. You need to deal with problems and issues head on like a real leader, a brave leader, not a coward. Haters are going to hate, trolls are going to troll. Expect it. You should expect the worst and hope for the best in this life. And fight for the best. Don't be lazy. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Just what I was saying. Exactly what I was just talking about. Who's to your left and right? You know, people are going to come and go. They're not going to give a damn about this stream, I'll tell you that much, unless they're highly educated and have a big heart. I'll tell you why, because it's a sad world out there. Nobody's interested in leadership. They just want to follow whoever's popular. It doesn't matter how they got popular, even if it was illegally or, a trashy way of getting popular. It doesn't matter. People just want to follow the next big star, right? And then they play the numbers game. And they think, oh, this is a real leader. Nope. That's not a real leader. Not all the time. Sometimes you have really good leaders who have high numbers and such. And got there in a legit form. But not all the time. There's a lot of deceivers out there. They have a lot of following too. So, the battle between love and evil. Who is truly with me by my side? This is what I take away from this quote. All right. If a man has not discovered something that he will die for, he isn't fit to live. Exactly. What are you most passionate about? You have to ask yourself this question. For me, it's life and love. And love in particular. I want to help as many people as I can. I don't want to just skate through this life paying bills and then die. Nobody's going to remember me. And it's not about my legacy, by the way. It's not about me, putting my footprint on a history book. I just want to feel proud of myself that I actually made a difference, that I actually participated in something worthy. Worthy of my time, my life. And I hope others think the same. Because if not, what kind of a world, what kind of a life are you living if you don't stand for anything? So, this is a really good quote here. You have to stand for something you believe in with all of your heart. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. This is the more famous quote from MLK. All men are equal. The problem is corruption without correction and negative attitudes, in my humble opinion. All right? So listen to what I just said. Corruption without correction. So it's not necessarily, you could have a corrupt government and causing all type of negative attitudes out there via social engineering. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. So pretty much brainwashing the public to believe a certain thing in order to accomplish a certain agenda. So that's why I don't trust governments 100% because, they are comprised of people like you and I, but at the top echelons, they have agendas. And you have to be wise enough to see those agendas. Most of the time, they're just not in your best interest. So, let's move on. All right, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Exactly. So, any amount of progress is progress. Never stop. It's a really good quote. And, people unfortunately give up too easy in this life. Some of them commit suicide even. I mean, there's a lot of depression out there. That people don't help each other. There's a lot of that too. They have no one to turn to. Even friends that they call friends. Are they really your friends? Are they going to help you in time of need? I don't know. You're supposed to know. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort. and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. This is the thing with leaders. You know, I myself consider myself to be a great leader. That's not vanity, that's not narcissism, that's the fact, because I do take a stand and I'm very firm with what I say and I will defend myself. Because I believe wholeheartedly that what I have to say is useful, and that's why I wrote a book and I made a movie. Only those who are intelligent and wise are going to take advantage of those opportunities to get into my world, and I'll get into your world. The same. I always do the same in return. So, because together we're a team, but separate, we're nobody. We're just numbers in a game. So, the game of life. So, this one I take away: cowards will avoid problems, as I said before. Leaders will solve them. Are you a problem solver? Because this is what I do with my streams. I strive to give information that's useful and that's passionate. Something that touches your heart or your mind, gets you thinking. But I do need your guys' participation. Otherwise, well, just trying to leave my mark here, right? And that's kind of sad. So Martin Luther King, I bet he felt the same. He looked to his left and right and been like, wow, people just cheer for me, but cheering doesn't do much. You know, there was a lot of people who, yeah, they'll attend just to have a good time, like people at a funeral. They'll go for the cake and the, you know, and the attention, but they don't really care about who just died. You got to really think about this, like sincere affection and sincere empathy and sympathy. You know, there's differences, and you can detect these things. You know, instead of just cheering a person on who's taking a leadership role, sometimes that's not enough. And sometimes it actually backfires because there's no participation. It's just, yeah, cool, good job, bye. Wow, that was really deep. So just think about that, if the shoe fits, right? All right, let's see. We must learn to live together as brothers, or we will perish together as fools. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, the Middle Eastern, for example, the Middle Eastern way of thinking in general is let's all get rich together. Let's all have success together. Let's build communities together. Everybody chips in. Everybody, you know, my neighbor is really, as in Hispanic cultures, mi casa su casa. My house is your house. Well, the Arabics, they take it to another level. They could just walk into your home unannounced and be like, hey, what's up, my brother? I need some tissues or something. And you'll be like, oh, here you go, brother. They're not scared and be like, whoa, who invited you? And all panic and everything. It's not for everybody. You know, but it just gives you an example that they grow together as a community. Everybody becomes successful. There's none of this individualism where, oh no, I just care about myself and I'll pretend to care about everybody else, but I really just care about myself. Well, then we're all on our own. You know, it's a cutthroat game, you know, just like what capitalism is, unfortunately. You know, everybody could have been rich by now and living like real kings if they were to just come together as communities, but we for some reason, we just can't have that. There's too much division. Political division, religious division, scientific division, all types of division, you know, social division, cultural division, you name it. It's all division. It's a satanic world we live in, adversity. So work together. Everyone reaches their goal through collaboration, but unfortunately, people are too scared to collaborate. They don't know how to collaborate. They don't know how to do proper research on serious topics. A lot of ignorance out there, unfortunately. Weakness, cowardice. All right, so I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. Absolutely. It's just like love, you know. How deep is your love? That's why I went over the band The Bee Gees. What else did they have to say beside that? Yeah, but sometimes that's all you need to say, right? How deep is your love? Because we're living in a world of fools, bringing us down. That's why I chose to do song reviews. Because here's MLK saying quite pretty much the same thing. I still have a dream, despite the difficulties, despite the challenges. Who's going to give up? There's so many people that give up, right? They're like, oh, I went to one of his speeches and I was like, yeah, okay. And then I left. You know, I mean, were you really there through the whole speech? Like, look at all those people there in that picture. You know, it's still not enough. The whole world needed to be watching these events and listening to those words being said. But Martin Luther King can only do so much, people. You can't rely on one person to save the day. You have to be a bunch of MLKs out there. And that's sadly today. I think MLK would be ashamed of today's society because there's not a lot of MLKs out there today. He would be rolling around in his grave, as they say. So, despite our mostly evil world, I will forever preach the importance of true love. That's my notes for this one. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance. Absolutely. All that's needed for evil to continue to prosper is docile ignorance. Just believe everything that comes out of that television and those actor puppet politicians' mouths, and keep playing the imaginary voting game. Oh yeah, you know what? Don't let me bother you. Because you know what? Sincere ignorance is just insisting that no, it's gonna work. It's gonna keep pulling that slot machine handle, that lever. Don't let me stop you. It's your money. It's your time, right? So ignoring the importance of love is what I see here. Ignoring people on a mission to improve the world, like MLK. He was on a mission. He was taken away too soon, unfortunately, but nonetheless, he was on a mission. So, and sometimes, we don't get to complete that mission. For those of us taking the challenges and, all the risks. All right, so let's get into some serious talk. Shifting away from MLK for a little bit. Here's a sign here from the past. It wasn't just black people. People have never seen, a lot of people haven't even seen this. Look, Dallas, Texas, right? No dogs, no Negroes. That just means no black people. Negro in Spanish means black. Negro. It's not Negroes, it's negros, right? Mexicans, no Mexicans. And even during the World War II, World War II days, the Asians that were brought over from Japan were discriminated against. Even the Chinese way before that, who came to the States, were discriminated against. Hey, China, man, you're not allowed here. There's a lot of discrimination. It wasn't just with blacks. People need to realize that it's all kinds of, if you were not white back then, there was a lot of discrimination. It's just people who, I guess that's their right to do so. But you see, you're causing harm. So that's where I draw the line between freedom and discrimination. Because now you're discriminating. You're not allowing other people to enjoy their own freedoms as the white people did, right? So that's harming others. That's why I say, I'm for freedom as long as it doesn't harm others. Right? Okay, so now you guys know it wasn't just blacks, it was Hispanics, Asians, and other non-white people that were discriminated against. Now, let's go over something extremely important, which is the N-word. I have to discuss this because I can't believe so many people these days are ignorant as to what the N-word actually means. And that's the way they're feeling, this ignorant interpretation of the word itself. And yes, I will go over this. There's no controversy in this word. Unless you're ignorant. So, let's go ahead. Let's see. So much violence over one word that simply means black from another language, like negro. No, it's negro. It means black. Okay? Oh my goodness. And I don't get offended because I'm Hispanic. No, I'm Spanish, born from Spain. But I'm also a U.S. citizen and Spanish citizen. I'm a dual citizen. So, what that means is Hispanic, if you say the word spick, I'm not offended because it's short for Hispanic. If you say, hey, spick, that doesn't quite get me because that just means short for Hispanic or spick and span. I don't have a problem with cleaning things to their spick and span. I'm not offended, right? Because I'm educated. But whatever, it looks like things got out of control, like the word cock for rooster. Nowadays, you can't use a C word because, well, it's been polluted, right? Now you have to say rooster to be politically correct. It's ridiculous. So here, for the purpose of being, out of the controversy, I did black out the real word, but it's on Wikipedia. It's everywhere. All right, so early use, the variants negar and negar derive from various Romance words for black. That's all it's about, the word black. Like the word black, right? Including the Spanish and Portuguese word negro, which means black, and the now pejorative French negre. That's also, black is actually noir, 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 I don't know how to say it in French. Noir, I think it's noir, which means black. It's the one right there, second from negro. Negre and the N word, which everybody's so scared of. That's always boggles me. It's just non-educated people, ignorant people, ultimately derived from nigrum or nigrum, the stem of the Latin niger, black. Okay, it's no big deal. Once you're educated, it doesn't work anymore as an offense. When you use the word as an offense, it doesn't work anymore. Even if I was black myself, like Hispanic being called spick, I'd be like, dude, that doesn't hurt me. Like, are you trying to hurt me with words right now? Now, the hatred does hurt. It's what they do. If they hit you, if they're going to act like they're going to hit you or get violent with you, put you down, in an abusive, verbally abusive way. But this word right here should not harm anybody. I know it's the way they use it, obviously, but still, this is stupid. The whole thing is stupid with the whole N word thing. That's why even black people these days, like gangster attitudes, they call each other by the N word. And they put an A at the end. Because I guess they're allowed to do it because they're black. I mean, that's okay, fine. If I had meet another Hispanic, I'm not going to call him spick, though. That sounds stupid. I'll just say hermano, brother. And that's what Chinese communities do too. They call each other brother. I don't see what the big problem is. And I wanted to add this in there because even Martin Luther King would agree. Because he constantly said negro, which means negro, which means black. He said it, people. That's the other N word. It means the same thing as the NIGG, right? It's the same thing. It's, oh my goodness, people. If you guys know other people who don't know this, please educate them. All right. So look, even Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're gonna go over his name. Oh man. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, Schwarz in German is black, and then Neger, which means black. I believe it's from a Dutch origin. So Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now you know what the N word means. It simply means black, right? I actually have to break this down for people, and they're like, "Oh, really? Oh, that is true. I never thought about that." Many people just say Arnold. They don't even want to pronounce his last name, right? And I know a lot of foreigners who can't even pronounce the last name. It just means black on black or black and black, right? Tu brute and you tu brute. It's just black on black. I don't know how the name got to be, but whatever. I mean, there's the word nega. It's not the same as the I word, but it's the same derivatives. It's just phonetically and etymologically speaking, it just means black. Oh my goodness, people. And it doesn't mean every black person is African, by the way. You might be from islands of origin. There's a lot of islands out there that do have, not black skin, but that's what they call black, so whatever. I'm like caramel colors because I'm Spanish mixed in with some, Indian blood too, so, I mean, but I'm not going to call myself caramel or some crazy Latin word for it. So let's go over racism because, once you start speaking of races, everybody starts sweating and getting all heated and hot and bothered and be like, oh, you're a racist. No, I'm an educated person. Somebody calling me a racist is just flat out 100% ignorant because I know way more than they can admit, they can dream of about race. Okay? And that's where you come armed with the power of knowledge and education. And you put them in their place because they're the ignorant ones. Everybody loves to use the term racist everywhere. You're a racist because you said black. I'm Hispanic / Spanish, whatever you want to call me. I'm no racist, buddy. I just know what I'm talking about, and you don't. So what is racism? Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. Yeah, ethnicity is actually more important than race, by the way. Typically, one that is a minority or marginalized. Like, I'm not comfortable being called Hispanic. I like to be called Spanish. But, whenever I had to put, mark in the piece of paper in school, I would just put in other and Spanish. And I was forced to put white because I guess Spanish are white. No, they're not. There's a lot of gypsies and other Spanish people that are not exactly white. And there's even Mexicans who are not Mexican typical, skin color. They're actually white, completely white. They look like Europeans. And even in Iran, of all places in the world, when you go to Iran, there's blonde hair, blue eyes, green eyes, hazel eyes, all kinds of people in Iran. So it's ignorance is what this is being thrown around like, oh, racist and racism and all this race, nonsense. No, they haven't even traveled outside the United States, outside their own village or city. That's how ignorance develops. When you haven't even seen any other part of the world and you're just like, oh, I know it all. I wouldn't be so quick to claim such a thing. I did want to toss that in there because it's all about educating others. So please help me educate others as to the N word just simply means black. It's just used in a horrible way, like even the B word for a female dog. That used to, people still use it today in England. You know, they say, oh, female dog, you know, the B word, right? They don't use it in a derogatory manner, with prejudice and discrimination. But, people corrupt words, and that's just the way it goes. All right, so destroying today's ignorance. Talking about races is not racism. So please, people, help me spread that message so we can make sure that Martin Luther King does rest in peace, not rolling around in his grave. And this is a shout out to MLK. So if you guys enjoy the stream, let me get to the chat. Let me see if there's any questions. Gravy, welcome. Northwoods Press, welcome. Boston, welcome. Muckster. Let's see. Okay, gotcha. Bullies are bullies despite the reason, race, looks, genetics, nationalities, disability. Yeah, bullies. It's the action that counts, not necessarily the words. Not always the words, right? Passionate about parenting techniques and homesteading. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Northwoods. You're awesome, my brother. Keep up the great content. Woo woo. I appreciate that. That's a lot better than saying woo woo. So I appreciate that. All right, let's see. Gravy. Apologies or discipline timeout until they can express what they did. Oh, this is like parenting skills I think you're discussing here. Okay. Let's see. After these 3 steps are completed, can offender's apology. Thank you very much, Northwoods, for sharing. Appreciate that. Boston, let's see. All right, just saying what's up. All right, guys, so that's a stream, and I hope you guys enjoyed it right at the 30-minute mark. And I hope you guys are enjoying the start of a beautiful week. If it's not beautiful, make it beautiful. That's an order. My army of true love. Until next time, much love.